Alright, cleared up the memory, worked perfectly, worked like a charm. Always afraid. Don't, don't break new technology. So, playing a little EVE Online. Gotta make more frigates. Yeah, if I'm going to have a character who's going to do faction warfare, I need a good deal more frigates. Uh, yeah, it was, yeah, it was kind of fun. I lost a slasher to a hook bill, of course. The person kind of was like, "Yeah, you can't really bring a slasher up against a hook bill." And then he sent me a really nice link to a really dope PvP guide for faction warfare, and it's actually really handy. And I was like, okay, this is why people use this ship and this ship so much. And it got into the percentages of wins and things like that. And I'm like, well, I like making those. I actually, I love making those things, and I like flying them. So I just have to fly them more and get used to it. So something I was starting to think about when I was watching the Dearborn, Michigan thing, where it's because this is this cluster of Muslim people, and so the people in Michigan are inordinately liberal. There's this big liberal sector, and because a lot of universities are put there. It's like Oregon, in that when I really think about this, what it is that Michigan would be a red state and Oregon would be a red state if there weren't the attraction of the universities. The universities are basically just centers of communists. Um, People could roll their eyes at that. I've lived around these people now for almost 20 years. I see what they wear. I see them. And this is the whole thing that liberals love, is that they're above being sized up. They can't size people up. Because they have a hard time sizing people up. They don't think they get sized up. They don't think you could judge the book by its cover. When liberals tend to, by literally the survey of personality traits, liberals will tend toward narcissism. They want to advertise their liberal way of life. So they're that they are beyond tradition. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up, that this comes up so much that now it's the breathless homosexual fatty woman talking about how her life is constantly in peril because she's gay. She's gay, and I every day is survival, and that this is what a crazy person would say. This person's fat. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find this is a fat homosexual woman, or it's a dude who you could see clearly because of the skin, muscle build, teeth, fullness of hair. This person has had access to food and vitamins and water. And this is a person who lives in the first world. They are very likely dressed, and they don't look like, they're not threadbare. It doesn't look like they're a homeless person. And they too, they'll always discuss how there's all these threats against them. And this is the constant now. That everybody knows this was, going all the way back to the beginning of Gamergate. This was a constant. The horrible threats that are always in women need feminism because the horrible threats against them. And so once you bring up, so are you talking about crime? Like, are people doing criminal acts against you? And that's where, of course, then, it's 1350. I mean, what are you not getting? Which now is 1360. It's now 1360. Good work, liberals. Good work, Black America. And so now it's this thing. It's this way that these people talk, that it should ring hollow, and there should be a kind of mockery. There should be a systematic type of mockery. That when somebody's like, and I'm surviving every day, like, there should be a sound everyone makes, or some hand gesture or something that they know. Everyone knows this is the hand gesture that means you're a nut job. You're making it up. because you're crazy, you think people are after you because you're a narcissist, you think you're important, and that anybody wants to like get you or something. And now this is where it becomes very interesting, is being these are people that they are Machiavellian, but they're not really good at evaluating other people. Like they really aren't. Like when you're around liberals long enough and you like get to hear what their analysis of somebody is. Like this was what really got me with people, what things they would say about Trump, and I'm like, but that's quite obviously not true, you know. And I was like, that's just so weird. Why do people? And then there's people who I'm like, why is this person insisting on projecting onto this guy what obviously is his own character flaw? Because I know that about him. And you know, like this is, yeah, like I never bring this up, but I mean that's obvious. I mean this is one of his biggest hurdles in life is this, you know, and it just happens so much with, and even people who are right of center, that there would be things they would say about Trump that I'm like, okay, what he's doing there seems more like a technique from speech. As somebody who likes or has to speak in public a lot, I get what he's doing. I mean, it makes sense to me what he's doing there. And somebody else has it with this odd projection. And I'm like, Ellen, kind of, from what I know about you, that would apply to you, you know. So something I started to get about, like, and was really clearly shown with everyone pretending the riots never happened, and that you can't get liberals to be honest about that. They won't be honest about they were happy that there were riots going on. They were okay that riots were being allowed. Because I know about the riots, a lot of riots about the 50s and 60s, and I've read various points of view on this. That this was what was going on in Yankee cities, was just let them get it out or something like that. And then cities where they're like, oh no, you can't riot here. What the fuck are you thinking? And they didn't happen at all. It was just understood. You're not rioting. No, we'll fucking crack down on you. You know, you can't burn things. Sorry. Doesn't matter how pissed you are, you can't burn things. And so, what a big thing about this is that these are people that if you've ever been around dope fiends in the streets, and you've seen like some crazy bitch dope fiend, and she is bothering people or bothering other dope fiends or something, and then when somebody like is like get away from me, or fuck you, or you know, it's a no, I don't have anything, that they'll start screaming, they'll make a scene, and they'll start, you're what, blah blah blah, why'd you say that to me, this person is so mean, blah blah blah. And you see this all the time. It's Karens are similar. People want to. There's some people who don't like it because they think it applies mostly to white women, but it's everyone. Definitely there's lots of different kinds of Karens. It's other groups pull the manip a different way. Filipino chicks manip a different way. Arabs and Middle Easterners manip a different way. Jews manip a different way. It's uniquely white women are straight to the manager about everything. That is real. And the thing is, though, it makes sense. It's not illogical. It culturally makes sense. Is the thing that I think that is not appreciated by enough people. That it's like, well, no, they do that. It's that, I can see why, because they come from a society that has a strict hierarchy of what's it called? A strict hierarchy that they come from a hierarchical society. They're doing what makes sense. I'm going to go to the person who outranks this servant, and it is a mentality of like I'm actually I'm a pretty princess, and it really is. I mean, really, people don't realize until you do it for years what Karening is, because it will be that like a standard price for something, and that you'll be like, why do you think I could change the price? So people have these low tendencies where they try to argue with God. The price is standard. That no, I can't do that. Because those are the rules I've been given. You know, okay, you want to talk to the next person up. I'm very good about that one. Those are the rules I've been given. Oh, okay, you want me to call somebody who can tell me to break the rules. Good, because I want you to do that. I want you to, now I want this completely clear. That's what I do, is I see how you are trying to manipulate me into doing this. Let's make it clear, you know, and I want you to feel a bit of shame for your actions, and I want you to follow through completely on them. So I am the person who did their job, you know. That's it. That's the whole point. And I did my job. You are doing what comes natural to you. And because humans want to get things, you know, you want to get things for cheaper. And that's a big part of this, is these Machiavellian, narcissistic homosexuals really want attention. They want people to pay attention to them in a way that is, the only way they could really think of attention in a low, almost criminal realm, sexy. That I'm a sex thing. I'm a sex creature. I do the sex, you know, and you can't handle how sexy I am, you know. The world can't handle my sexo powers, you know. Oh, I am sex, you know. So at one point when I was younger, the straight liberal could discuss the gay person who is also one of a great intellectual. The problem now is they can't. You could talk about these people who are kind of slightly good at music, a tad bit good at acting. Like they could pretend to be other people. They can make girls do this. And you know, all of the problem that everyone's going to end up having. This is porno. The stuff that's being put in these schools is porno. It is. This isn't the family life course, which has a proven record. The family life course has a proven record. This isn't the intellectual, like, good thinking, wanting good outcomes method. No, this is bad outcomes method. This is exactly what everybody says it is. It won't matter that you think otherwise. I'm deep right. We are always vindicated. We have taken anecdote, then compared it to data, and we have found out, wow, it's even worse than the anecdotes. And we know things about you people. So, when this is the beauty of it, you will quadruple down. You will quintuple down, as I like to say. And in quintupling down, you will keep insisting on pornography being introduced to young people, and eventually what will naturally and logically occur, just like the crime people who like criming so much in crime cities, where all the crime happens, because of the concentration of the criminal element and the crimers. um, the what's inevitably going to happen is people are going to figure out ways of ostracizing those groups. It'll just be the way it will be. It'll be a form of institution that it will be. Oh yeah, well it'll be religion. The beautiful part is you're sending people to religion. That's one. All of you shit libs and all of you rainbow people who keep insisting on like, no, you have to pay attention to my super sexy sex style sexiness because you deny me something by saying that me doing sexy things is not of incredible import. You know that the moon would tilt out of position if it wasn't for us. Meeting in Golden Gate Park late at night. So, if it wasn't for us, meeting at a bar and taking drugs, it's where our church is a bar. The bar you with a dance floor, that's church. So, and then statements that were being made by the kind of activist-y sounding gay people and stuff, especially the one or two dudes. They were they kept saying things that I was like, no, I'm getting it. You really hold Islam in contempt. You really do like these people as mascots. They are now being bad mascots. They're being bad mascots, and you don't like the way they're behaving. You don't approve of it. You want these people to obey, and they won't obey. And they're going to raise their children to be Sunni or Shia Muslim, and you don't approve of that. Fundamentally, you fundamentally don't approve of that. You hate their culture. So you therefore hate them because you are bigots. You have some weird fixation on thinking people want to stop you from meeting in Golden Gate Park for sex. Nobody ever stops. There's no Golden Gate Park police patrol looking for you motherfuckers. There never was. There probably never will be. There's no group of vigilantes some white vigilantism that's going on against the gays. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe the way they treat us. And it just nobody's buying it. I mean, like, really, it's at a certain point, it's just like, you really kind of just need to stop it. Because nobody's buying it. I mean, people who are really rational and sane and live in the real world, they're like, nobody does anything to gay people except for the criminals. And these people typically live in cities full of diversity where lots of crimers tend to live. And the crime people. And so, I don't know, maybe they should move to safe white suburbs that are the safest places in the world. American white suburbs are the safest places in the world, especially once you are a married white woman and you or your husband have a college degree. Like, the likelihood you'll ever be victimized by crime, like, it'll be once in your life you'll really have somebody try, like, do something terribly criminal, like burglarize your home or vandalize it or something like that. And to the point where, I mean, it's that weird, like, that it really is, like, this amazing thing about that. I want to go for that one. Or that one. Okay, so it's Moonfield. Moonfield's up, and so it's like, you gotta kind of think, like, you want to stay away from the orca. The orca's got its lasers on some good rocks. You don't want to bogart any of that kind of stuff. And so I know this guy right now is probably like, don't do it, and it's like, nah, I'm not gonna bogart your rock, bro. Don't worry. See, they need that heavy water. They need that heavy water. So, the there is a portion of the people who were liberals that they've left. There's a lot of them who they kind of get into the various types of deep right people. A lot of them just kind of stay with people who are a little more their speed, like a Jordan Peterson or Lauren Chen or something. So somebody who was horrified by stuff the left was doing. Like, that's just unethical and illegal. You know, like, you shouldn't do things like that. You're like, what? What, you're siding with Nazis? And said, no, but, I mean, you're kind of violating the principle of just being the good person. I mean, how don't you see, we'll do anything to stop them. We'll become the monsters we hate. You know, and it's beautiful. To me, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. You know, these idiots. They're idiots. That's the thing. Total morons. Oh shit, am I out of range? No, I'm not out of range. Okay. Oh yeah, it's beautifully close to the Mackinac and the Orca. That these people are starting to expose that their fleet of banana boats crazy. A lot of them are a fleet of banana boats crazy. It's like, I'm a queer mom. It's like, no, you're just ugly and fat. And obviously kind of insane. Because nobody's trying to do anything to you. Like, you wouldn't be overweight. If somebody were oppressing you, you wouldn't have food. If somebody were oppressing you people, you would see organized groups of people beating you up. Like that stuff that we see that in other countries. People videotape that. There's an issue that when people are criminal, they enjoy knowing that it's more humiliating if they record what they've done. It's more humiliating that they're predatory. They will enjoy watching it again. See, in my mind, I have to. They plan to watch themselves doing it again. But in my mind, that's hard to deal with because that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me. But I don't do that kind of thing. I'm not a crimer person. I'm not one of the crime people. I don't fit in with them. Ooh, I gotta clean this keyboard. So you're starting to see these people that this is why they like dangerous anti-heroes. They like people who are not heroes, they're villains. You know, these crazy ways that these characters have been warped so that they're actually villainous people who are again, narcissistic, Machiavellian. So it's not that they are a prodigy. They're a narcissist. They're you know, so you get all these Mary Sues, these narcissistic, you know, like 14-year-old, 12-year-old girl type, you know, mentality people who are, you know, they're just inherently better than everybody, and, you know, nobody can, you know, yeah, and it's because these people really do think of themselves like that. In a lot of cases, they think they're sexo, that they have something they feel that's so different than what other people feel, that, you know, like, people just don't understand. Oh my gosh, again, I knew it did this to me. This freaking game, it keeps not recalling all the drones. So it'll like leave a drone, and it doesn't matter how long I recall it. It won't. There's all kinds of weird. I've been getting weird stuff going on with Eve over the But yeah, okay. A couple of things have been a little weird. That's that I'm like, what is going on with that? So there's this. It's not even like, oh, I'm identifying with the underdog. I'm identifying with a person who's misunderstood. It's that I'm identifying with the person who's obviously horribly morally compromised. They're vice-ridden, and they don't have to improve. That's another very important part of that. And so we see this a lot with over this generation with so many women that they sort of think that they should still be the 15-year-old they once were. Endlessly like watching the same movie, and they've loved it since they were like 15. Listening to music, they liked it 15. You know, and that's it's made for the brain of a 15-year-old, you know, or a 12-year-old. Characters with only that level of complexity. You know, and I think a lot of people have had that experience watching like a really good movie, and that you're constantly being asked, what's going on, I don't understand. And it's like, you have to watch the movie, and that you realize, like, it's just, there's something not happening in there right. And you know, the ability to focus, there's something not happening in there correctly. So the society, these people don't need to adapt to society. They're very much, my father once brought this up because we were around so many gay people. He said gay men really are very juvenile, and I could see my dad was very waspy, and I could see the way that he was a sweater vest. So he would, and growing up then, you know, I kind of listened, and I was like, yeah, you know, these are people who are kind of playing forever young, and yeah, there's a lot about the way they act that is kind of juvenile plus effeminate, and they could get away with it because everybody kind of expects that from them. It's a stereotype of how they're supposed to behave. So let's have these sassy, effeminate, juvenile point of view that, oh, can you believe that? Whoa, you know, we got told, you know, it's, you know, like Big Mama, by like Nell Carter, you know, breaking it down, you know, or what's her face on Alice, kiss my grits, Al, you know, well then kiss my grits, you know, and the white woman with the big hair, you know, the Greater Appalachia stereotype, she tells it like it is. And there's Roseanne Barr, Greater Appalachia type of fat mom, tells it like it is, you know, and you see, note with that, at least we liked that character. Why? She didn't get your manager. No, the manager came up because he was like, oh shit, what is going on over here? This woman is loud. Can I help you? What happened here? And you see, and that was the thing, is so you know, she didn't go over to the manager. It's a different culture, different cultural group. So, be a Roseanne, don't be a Karen. No, kidding. But this is going to, the reaction that will inevitably happen from people who are moderates, moderate society, will start kind of being like, no, those people really do act like that. There's no going back from this. There's no more network television for everybody to then have this character, or, oh, RuPaul's so wild and sassy. Who's RuPaul? Who the fuck is RuPaul? And then after a while it becomes like, no, this person kind of looks like a clown. They're not very interesting, and they're not funny. You know, like that's, the interest in RuPaul was of a very specific era of time. And so a lot of this stuff is going to, what it's going to morph into, I'm not sure, but there is going to be a reaction of, no, you people do seem to be into showing kids porn. Like, I mean, you guys keep acting like that's not what this is. Why do you think we fell off a turnip truck? Like, that's also what was going on with the Muslims there. They were being treated as if these were people who didn't have electricity, modern weapons. They didn't know what modern technology was. That's what they were being treated like. And that does need to be also dealt with. And that it's like, why do you think so these people have been here for now over a decade. They've been here sometimes generations. They have businesses, and you're treating them treating them like they have sheep's heads. You know, seriously. You know, and it's showing what you really think of your mascots, white liberals. That's the beauty of all of this. All right, I gotta pay attention. Okay, you can't be AFK later.